Hi, my name is Lucinda, and welcome to Tarot Basics. This is the story of the Fool. We'll start with the Major Arcana. If you could arrange your cards in that fashion, to where you pull the Major Arcana outside of the Minor Arcana and Trump cards. The Trump cards are going to be the four basic Page, Knight, Queen, King. Those you'll put at the back like Ace through King. All right. You're going to use that in each of the suits. The first suit that you'll be working with is going to be Pentacles, or it's going to be Spring. We'll work in Spring first. We're going to do Cups first. Then we'll go to Pentacles. Pentacles will be Summer. Autumn is going to be Wands, and Winter will be Swords. Okay? All right. So if you would take the time to go ahead and separate your cards and then come back to the video, that would probably be easier. I want you to get a journal, all right, and get a pen that you really like to write with, and separate it into 5 different sections, okay? The first section is going to be the Major Arcana and the Fool's Journey. As I go through this, make notations, but the homework for this particular understanding, right? Because writing down the way that you do readings and the outcomes that you get, the way that you think, how you're connecting, that's all practice. That's the best way to do it. As you write down or jot down notes from what I'm telling you is the basic understanding of the Fool's Journey, then you get to go ahead and with each of the Major Arcana cards, you sit every day, one each, and you say, how am I represented in this card? Okay? And then you write that down, you journal into it. This will make you more connective when you're reading for others and for yourself. You'll have a better perspective, another perception of what it really means. You'll have the application as well, and that's what really works for me. So, here we go. So, first up, we have the Fool. The Fool is a 0, so in that, the Fool, you can see that he is getting ready to step off the edge of the cliff. There's snow all around, so slippery slopes. He has the dog. The dog's trying to warn him, maybe, or the dog is willing to jump with him, maybe. But he's in a really good space because he doesn't have very much baggage. The sun's out. He has abundance with him in his hand that he's ready to spend. And everything is moving along very swiftly. All right? Not too bad. This is the very beginning of the Fool's Journey. All right. So the Fool's been, working at it a little bit, but now next what comes up, I want you to notice that it also has the wand. Okay. The fire is the sun. The fire is the sun. The wand is the wand, right? The water is the ice. Okay. All right. And the thought processes that you put into here, right, would be the swords. All right. Interesting, right? Okay. So now you've been on the journey just for a second, just started it, just barely started it. And now you're going to fall right into the magician. The magician's going to be a very interesting card for you. It will give you everything that you asked for all at once, all the tools. Every single tool is going to show up. All right. And you may be overwhelmed because everything that you asked for came in so fast in a way that you weren't prepared for. It's because you're getting your set of tools and you're going to learn how to work with them. So all that are present here will be the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles. And everything is represented in a very well-rounded way. In this particular card, you can see abundance down at the bottom. So his abundance is grown. All the flowers represent abundance. And he has a harvest atop, so things are coming from heaven easily. He's just learning how to manage it. See how his coat is just a little bit too big for him, right? That lets you know right there. And everything is slightly oversized. And he's in a what comes around goes around moment. That's the lemniscate or the figure 8 that's above his head. So he's in divine order and maybe not knowing what all the moving parts are, right? And those moving parts are going to represent as above, so below, right? And you can see all of the elements in full harmony being there. And he's holding up his left hand with what? right? All the elements are on the table. So what is he holding in his hand, right? A scroll. Thoughts from heaven, ideas, possibilities, and he's pulling them in on his receiving side. There you go. Something deciphered. That moves you, like let's say you start to master the magician, right? That's going to take you into your intuition, right? Boaz and Joab, those are the two B and J there on the pillars. That has to do with hermetics. You can look that up. All right. It does depict that there is no black and white, that there is gray area. You can look at the beautiful priestess, because this is the priestess energy. She is duality in its finest form. As above, so below. Also good, bad, right? Dark light. But nothing is as it seems. And it is from a place of abundance. It's grown. The moon is at her feet, so she's deep in her spirituality. Her helmet is showing that she is in the fullness of who she is, and she is understanding her cyclic nature. That she is in a cycle, and that there's a purity to that cycle. And in that purity, she is better able to connect through her crown to all that is. All right? She doesn't have all the answers. She doesn't have all of the witness yet, but it's coming. All right? Then the Fool moves into becoming the Empress, right? After the Priestess. So now you're the Empress. The Empress is your divine feminine nature. And this is usually how it starts for us, our Venus, our Venusian energy, to where we start to think about what is it that we could do for ourselves? What is it that we could cultivate for others? Because she's the queen of the harvest. See how she rules with her scepter? And you see how her shield is set aside, because it's a shield of love, and anyone can come through that shield. She's welcoming and inviting. All of the elements are present. The sky is sunny and it's open. And she is deep in her harvest, deep in her reproduction, deep in her fertility, rebirth, renewal, rejuvenation. This is a beautiful card, and it's 3. So it also signifies divine love. All right. And then once you have those 4 basic foundations, you're going to move into a manifestational capacity. You'll move into your divine masculine. The divine masculine is the emperor. You have the empress, and then you have the emperor. So the emperor is about building physical aspects, right? Stepping into your physical action, your passionate nature, performing masculine push energy of doing, right? Foundation is at its key. This is really a lot of fire energy. So it lights a fire underneath you and really gets you going. Empress is earth energy, right? Okay. Got it? So here we are. We're experiencing a lot, right? Okay. So in those foundations, you could see how he has one leg exposed, ready to move forward if he has to. He's sitting poised and ready on his dais. So he is above what's going on. He's able to observe his surroundings. And that's what you learn in this spiritual lesson, is how to observe your surroundings and build a firm foundation for use. All right. And that takes you in, like once you build a foundation, you're like, oh man, I hope it works, right? And that takes you into the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a beautiful card of unfolding and faith. It is something that teaches you that even in all the gray area, you choose what you believe. What you believe comes true, and that's how you live your life. It's also a recognition of conflict, internal and external, and how you can maybe pull that together. And you can see how you're trying to be the authority in your duality with the 2 natures down at the bottom there. They might look like eunuchs. And then you have 2 pillars, once again, announcing that balance is required, right? That there is 2 sides, there's duality to all of this. And so even though you're in conflict, maybe you could find harmony at the same time, because it's a choice. Deeply colored, very evident, heads covered in divine nature, right? So a 5 has conflict in it, but it also has resolution. It's your determination to start the project that you built the foundation for. The next card is the Lover's card. The Lover's card is filled with all kinds of juiciness. First, the Lover's card is about duality. Remember, we've been learning about the pillars as they've been coming up. These are your pillars. The pillars are not black and white. They are this and that. They are divine feminine and divine masculine energies. They're about behavior. They're about the success of your behavior. They're about the success of your integration into relationship. It's about your understanding in duality, the behaviors that surround you, the behaviors that you want to cultivate, and the behaviors that you want to let go of. As you can see, she's depicted in divine feminine aura because she has a tree. So that represents Earth again. So the Empress. And then he is represented in fire, right? So action, divine masculine. So Emperor. And they're coming together under nature, under heaven, right? And the heavens are opening up and they're screaming that there is enough, there is plenty. And they are in the in-between, as above, so below. So you see the mountain in the back, right? That's what they've just come through. Now they're on this side of it. Things are getting a little bit easier. You're learning who you are and how you can relate to situations and how you wish to be relatable in your life. That's what the Lover's card is all about. It's a 6, so it's for healing as well. All right. The 7, which is the Chariot. The Chariot is a bomb card, and a lot of times we have a tendency to think that it's an actionable card. What it can represent is don't give up. Like, don't give up. You're going internal. You're coming from a really good place. You can see that there's castles in the background. The heavens are above the individual who's in the chariot ready to go. They have God in front of them on that shield. That's a representation. They have hermetic information and magic and alchemy. That's what both of the pillars at the bottom represent, that are the drawers of the chariot, right? And the idea is to get the buy-in, to get them to do your bidding, to get them to do what it is that you're asking for. But you can see clearly that it is an external and internal bout, right? You have the black, which is our internal, right? And you have the external of the whites. Either way, you could put it either way. It could be black as external, internal as white. However, with these, it depicts where you're at. You see how shiny his chest is, right? How shiny his chest is because there's an angel, or not an angel, there's a square right there. And then it has like wings, but they're not wings, it's a chest plate. But the square, all right, squares represent opposition in astrology. So he's in opposition of what he's built and what he's ready to do. So he's going through worth issues. He's going through things of lack, thinking, oh, is this enough? Have I done enough? Can I get there? Do I have to do more? Am I making the right choice? Do I want to move forward? If I move forward, what does it look like? And that's what the chariot lesson is. All right. Still the Fool, learning who he is. Don't give up. That's that message. The 8, right? Strength card, the Strength card. You know, this whole time it's been sunny, right? You understand that, right? That the very beginning of the Arcana, the major Arcana, has all been sunny and bright in the aspect, right? And so this is the last of the sunshine for a minute, okay? So this is when you're at your pinnacle and you're growing into your magicianship, right? The lemniscape has returned. None of the tools are present because they're all fully integrated. You're looking into your strength. You're looking into how to put those 2 pillars that you see in front of you, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, to work for yourself, to provide for others, because you're bigger than life. You could see how big everything is around. It's smaller, right? So now you're growing into your higher self, your higher connection, your higher learning, and how to employ that in your life, right? And that's what this is all about, strength, okay? That takes you directly into the Hermit. Ooh, now we're starting to get into the gray area, the internal aspect of who we are. We thought we knew everything because we were external, right? It's internal. That's what we're doing. So when you go internal and you look at the beauty of you look at your traumas, capabilities, however it is that you would like to look at that, whatever words you use to describe your internal being, right? Your inner world, self-realization, discovery, all of that. That's what this is, bringing light to who you are internally, shedding light and integrating and incorporating more of you into your daily authentic practice. That's what this is about. All right. And structure, lots of structure. That takes us to the middle of the deck, right? Well, the middle of the major arcana, which is a destiny card, a fate card. So for me, this is always very representational because all four corners have the cardinal signs on them, all right? Or the fixed signs, I'm sorry about that, fixed signs in astrology. So in this upper corner, this is Aquarius, this is Aquarius, all right? This right here is Taurus. This right here is Leo. This is Scorpio. And this is Aquarius. All right. And you can see that they're still blue. So it's a blue sky. It's not sunny, but it's blue. You have the serpent. The serpent represents many things. Transformation is one of them, right? Transformation is one of them. You can see the duality of the pillars has come together in an understanding that is expansive because it's up at the top, right? And you can see that Anubis, the god of the dead, who allows for us to see our internal aspects in different ways, right, is on its way up. He's on his way up to meet that. So things are probably coming up for the individual that they're not aware of, that maybe you've been thinking about, but it's things that are of your nature, and you're learning how to choose whether or not that nature suits you, right? Those behaviors. So this is, you are destined to be in the circumstances that you're in, right in that moment. So when this card comes up, you could allow it to be a good luck card, right? That it's teaching you everything that you need in that moment, okay? And it is a moment card. It is a switching card. So when this turns up, it usually means that the universe is in your favor, all right? Heavily in your favor. So when that comes up, it makes it easier for you to breathe. That takes you into the contemplation aspect of justice. Again, the pillars are now more in similar coloration, right? And in order to get to the sun that's blocked by the red cloth could be representational of action and unsure action that you have to take. But first, you have to go through the construct that was created. Is it a contract? Is it a deed? Is it a lease? Is it a physical contract? Is it a social contract? Is it a soul contract? Is this karmic debt that you are seeing? So you're definitely looking for the balance, and you're looking to see when to rise up. All right? You're looking to see when to rise up. You have a lot of balance, right? You're in your mastery. You just hit your mastery. As you hit your mastery, you ask yourself, where can I be in better harmony with my divine masculine and feminine, right? Another great card. And that brings you up to the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man he's inverted, so he's upside down. You can see that he's in almost like a tree pose for yoga, which is kind of interesting. He has his hands behind his back, all right, and his leg crossed under his other leg, and he's hanging by his left foot, all right? So he is at a standstill, basically. He is being guided to understand that this is the time in your full illumination to allow things to come toward you rather than you do things to make them happen. This is a time of understanding. This is Very fast energy. It's 1, 2, 3 energy. And you have all the components, yet you're asked to be internal and connect with your heart and mind at the same time so that what you're asking for can come through in the most beneficial way. That takes you to the transformation aspect. All right? The death card is about transformation. Sometimes it does recognize death. It recognizes a physical death of a person. And you'll have to decipher if that's what the meaning is. Usually, it is a different sort of transformation, an internal transformation that gets represented and expressed externally. You can see in the depiction here with this particular card that there are many players. You have the child right here. You have the queen and the Hierophant all in here, all right here. So you have the king down here on his face. He's given up. You have the child saying, yay, here we go. You have the queen saying, no, 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 say it isn't so. You have the Hierophant saying, oh God, if it'll only change. And, you know, when everybody's in denial other than the child, that's your childlike nature telling you that this is going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And you're going to feel all the feels as you go through this transformation. This transformation is beneficial because it has this beautiful pomegranate and flower there. And the horse is a steed that's white, even though death is depicted in black and the horse is white. All right. You can see the water in the background. That means there's heavy emotion involved in whatever the transformation is. And the sun can come out once this transformation is complete. All right. You can see that even though the sun is out behind the horse, where the two pillars are in the moon card that's going to show up. All right. Okay. That the sky is gray. Muted. Okay. All right. Once you hit that transformation, you got to be patient for the adjustment, right? So that's temperance. Now you got to temper yourself. And in this particular card, there's an angel. The angel is depicted as pouring from one goblet into another goblet. That lets you know that all the emotions that were in the other card are heavily present in this card, and they feed you. So really getting to connect to your internal self, to your intuition, to your childlike self is how this beautiful sun is going to rise and warm you again. Everything else is rosy. You may think that it's really hard, but look, you're up above and out of the water. The angel has you, okay? And you're in this beautiful countenance of communication with the above, all right? So you're in that connection of as above, so below. And in the center, there's the triangle, which represents the divine feminine, divine masculine, and consciousness, right? Another beautiful experience of the card. You know, when you temper chocolate, you have a tendency to like fold it until it gets silky and rich and smooth, and it looks exactly the way that you would like for it to, right? And you have to be patient, and it takes time to work that chocolate. That's the same with temperance. So if you get to temperance, then what happens is that you might become addicted to some of the behaviors that you created to make that happen. It's a time for you to recheck your nature. This is a representation, once again, of the pillars, right? The balance that we're looking for between divine feminine and divine masculine. If we're doing too much and it's chaining us to what it is that we're doing it for, and we don't feel the reciprocity, we don't feel the energetic exchange of love, harmony, compassion, then it will feel like we're addicted to it, and we'll feel very resentful, like, why are we doing this? I don't want to do this. And it's very difficult to get away from that. And you can see that there are like bat wings or dragon wings on the back of the goat that's depicted up there with a pentacle that's upside down in his head. So the pentacle is also representational in chi energy of flow. It represents all elements. And remember, that's what the deck is about. It's about elements, the elements of water, wood, fire, and air, right? And earth. It's all of those. So in all of those, it's represented here. You could see that people have chained themselves to their purpose, right? And now they are enslaved by it. And this is a story. This is a story that they are living, all right? You can see how dark it is in the background because it's only one perception. It isn't the whole truth. It isn't an additional perception. It is this one perception. And it feels as though you can't move out of it, all right? This is also a money card. So when this card comes up, it represents money in a lot of ways. It could be like maybe you're overspending, okay? Or you're getting a windfall, like a large amount of money. You're learning how to manage that in your life. Maybe you're going through a budgeting sort of aspect, and all of that is leading you to be able to receive that which you ask for. So this particular card is learning about how to undo those addictions to stories that limit you from what you wish to receive. And the Lover's card, so duality. What happens is everything breaks up the minute that you find that that lifestyle that you've created that has you heavily engaged in a place that you know is detrimental to you, that doesn't really cause you to become a better person or version of you, that stunts your growth, limits you in ways that you can express your creativity. All right. Once you divorce yourself from that lifestyle, everything falls apart. It's supposed to. It's supposed to unwind. And that's what the Tower card is. You can see that the people have jumped ship. All right. And they're just hoping for something better. Right. The clouds, it's raining. It's raining fire. Right. And so in this, it's pretty devastational when you look at it. This could mean that you're moving. A lot of times it means you're moving, like you're moving. And a lot of times it means that it's change in a way that maybe you weren't expecting. Okay. And this is when you get to learn how you show up to your event, right? Called life. And as you show up, there is only letting go of all of your old codependent coping skills, right? You have to develop new spiritual guidelines for yourself, and you're not sure what those are going to look like because you're in the dark still. And you can see, like, if this is representational of the two pillars coming together, and that's a single pillar in the center, and the divine masculine and the divine feminine have both kind of, stepped aside so that there could be higher and greater expansion in consciousness because the crown is coming off the top, right? That is actually what the Tower represents, that you are going into an evolution of higher learning. You're going to learn more in a better way. That takes you into your spirituality in such a lovely way that the Star card comes. Now, this is very representational of temperance as well. But this one, she's very exposed, very vulnerable, very intimate. She is in her divine nature. The 7 stars that you see depicted are usually a representation of the chakras. And the final star that has the 8 points, right, is also representational of a divine oneness, right? And the lemniscape is that divine oneness. So you see it depicted above her yet again. And she is not balancing the waters to each other. She is balancing the waters, period. She's feeding the earth and she's balancing the water. She's not having anything be muddy. Everything is good and it's growing in a really good way. But you can see it's almost a new beginning. It's not as lush as it once was, right? So this is another one of those where you're going to stick to your divine spiritual nature to see what you're made of, all right? And as you do that, you're definitely going to go deep. It's time to go deep and go into that moon card, right? That moon card. All right. So the moon card, you can see the sun is out, but it also has duality to it. It depicts the sun and the moon at the same time. You have a wolf and a dog baying at the moon. Are they trying to bark it away, or are they in recognition that they're going on a journey? You have a little lobster coming up, which is probably representing, Scorpio. So Scorpio energy is again transformation. Pluto is the planet, right? Transformation, money, lots of different things. And again, it's raining fire in between the two pillars right along the water. So this is going to be an emotional journey. It's going to be an emotional journey. And the pillars are as far apart as they can get. So that lets you know how far afield your emotions are, your spectrum is. So it's going to feel like you're extreme. All right. When you're in your deepest soul, right? Night of the soul, right? Dark night of the soul, people like to call it. You are in your furthest aspect of extremity. So you're finding out your deepest capabilities and you're going to move to what you would like to be. You'll land somewhere in between. But that's the moon card. That's that internal. But see, it's blue and the sun is out. Okay? This is the way to help you feel better. That's what this represents. Once you do some internal work, you're going to feel so light and airy. You're going to be that child that death gave the horse to. What? Oh, yeah. The child was the one who was willing to transform, to change, to allow, to let that come through. Didn't know that it was a gift, but here it is, a gift of transportation and transformation. The red is actionable, so don't forget that. And the child is not exposed and vulnerable, but free and authentic, right? And the sun is very much present in this picture, right? And the horse has his head slightly down, as in subjugation. I am here for you. I'm here. You lead me. We will go. And it's not too fast of a ride, right? Because the child isn't holding on. The horse is slow and steady at a very even pace. This is a great abundance card. Look at all the abundance in the background with all the sunflowers and how beautiful the card is depicted all the way around, coming from where it used to be blocked and now it's open, right? Beautiful card. That takes you into action. You need action in that moment. Divine inspired action. That's the judgment card. Here you'll see people coming up out of crypts, right? Like the second coming, because that is the basis of the cards sometimes, right? That's what the red crosses are, Knights Templar, different things like that. And the woman who drew the cards in this particular deck, she was very theatrical. And so there's a lot of different things to be able to convey the meaning of the card, all right? But a call to action, Gabriel with his trumpet, signaling it's time to do the Lord's bidding, right? And so what is your godly mission? What is your purpose? What do you put here for? Have you developed it yet? Have you connected with your inner being to find out why you're here? That's what this card's about. What action shall you take to commit to that path? How can you show the universe that you're ready to show up for that beautiful experience? That's what this card is. Once you figure that out and you really get into action, you're going to be in a beautiful flow. And that flow is very representational again of a fated or destined experience. And you're kind of at the completion of it, where like you have all the answers now and everything's going really well. What else would you like to do? So again, here we are with Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. But they're all grown up in all their depictions. Anubis is no longer there because you've already done the internal work. Remember? You've already done that transformational work. You're in the center of the wreath now, surrounded by goodness. You're in completion. And that's the major arcana. All right? Okay.